Welcome in, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. It is the month of February. Monday, February the 2nd, right here on Jocks. Glad you're with us. A lot to get to today. It's going to be a fun show. Paul Finebaum in 15 minutes. Ralph Russo will join us at 8 to talk maybe a little bit of a flex by a new governing body in college football. How real is it? Richard Hendricks is with us every Monday to talk college basketball. Thanks to our friends at Pizza Pulse. Rough weekend for Alabama and Auburn both on the basketball court. How was the weekend, G-Mac?
It was good, buddy. I feel great. I feel back. I feel like we're back in the mix other than watching Bama basketball yesterday. Other than that, I feel pretty good about where we're at. I don't know. How you feeling? How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Kind of busy, a lot of games, but it was good. We had fun. We had a good weekend. And the one of the weird things about college football right now is the transfer portal is still active. It's not necessarily open. Alabama picks up a commitment from former Tennessee, former App State running back Khalifa Keith over the weekend. 35 carries, 132 yards, and a touchdown last year. This is a little bit of an odd one. I don't know if this is one that people anticipated, we're looking forward to. You kind of have to go dig around to really find a lot of his film to see what he looks like. Big running back, though, physical running back. Definitely could be a nice change of pace guy. Fundamentally sound in pass protection. But because of his size, you see him, you expect him to kind of bully through people, and then it sort of doesn't happen. What are your thoughts on Alabama picking up a bigger back to go in the backfield with what's already returning?
Well, I would think that you can never have enough running backs, first and foremost. I mean, we've seen several places that have gone with a running back by committee approach. That's never been an issue. Actually, I'm pretty much on board with the more the merrier approach in the backfield nowadays. Now, answer me this. He's a Birmingham guy, if I'm gathering that correctly. But the one thing that was a challenge last year for Alabama was more so not the big power backs, but the guys that could create after contact, the guys that could get you something after the fact, that could get you out and create big plays. So I don't know if Keith is that guy. I don't know enough about him. Have you seen anything to make you believe that he would be an upgrade over what is currently on the roster?
No, not necessarily, but from a change-up perspective, I think he could be a different type back that you're going to bring him. He's 235 pounds, 6'1". So he's a little bit longer, obviously a bigger body. So if you wanted him more in short yardage, you wanted him more for pass protection, which, like I said, I think fundamentally he has a good feel for it and is very willing with it. Not going to say he's necessarily dominant, but he's not afraid to get in there and do it and give you that effort. You mentioned it from Parker High School, so he gets close to home. It's just one that I wasn't looking at Alabama going to add more running backs. It didn't feel like a need. I do know that you're going to rotate and you're going to have different bodies at different times, and this is not a name that was on a lot of radars. So I'd probably be more interested in what was the tie, what was the relationship, because I would imagine that was a part of this is, hey, we have this many numbers here. We can add one there and do something a little bit different. He can help us in different formations, whether that be more two-back, whether that be you add him as sort of a hybrid H tight end, something like that at different times. Not sure exactly what the mentality was, but a guy that maybe can give you some different things that you didn't have a lot of last year. I mean, Richard Young felt like that downhill back a little bit last year, and sure. I don't know if this Keith kid runs as physically downhill as he did, but a similar body type that gives you a little bit of versatility in the backfield.
Well, and the other thing too, like how big was Jack Westover?
We talked about we talked about their tight ends last week and how they've had some lighter tight ends, then they've been able to use some bigger body tight ends. So I think having get different guys physically, formationally that can allow you to do different things. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, gosh, no. It would be great if that's the case. That would be terrific. Now here's the challenges with it. One, oh, he's the same size. Great. Is he the same type of player? Like, not all guys that are 6'1", 240 are built the exact same. Just like not all guys that are 6'7", 360 are going to play with tremendous power. They don't. There are some guys that are finesse as the day is long that are 6'7", 360. That are soft. There's plenty of guys like that, and there's plenty of guys that are 6'1", 290 that are glass eaters. So I think sometimes we look at the size. Oh, well, everyone thinks, oh, well, Bo Scarborough's like Derrick Henry. Nope, not even close. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, he's going to be the exact same. He's a shorter running back. He'll be just like Mark Ingram. No, not really. Like, I think that it's sometimes when you look at the size, it can be a bit misleading. Some guys, even though they're the same height, weight, doesn't mean that they're the same style of player. But maybe they're looking at Keith as a guy that maybe can contribute a little bit, give you some decent minutes in some looks as a fullback or as an H-back or something like that. I don't know. I don't know anything about the guy's skill set. But just based on the body types, maybe it would make some sense if that's where they're looking there. And they've had success with these big backs in the past. Like, I think the game's moving away from it. Like, I don't want a 240-pound running back. That's not my thing. I need a guy that's got some juice that can break it to the outside and that can hit this head on the goalpost at any one specific time. Like, I don't want the guy that's going to bulldoze towards 3 yards in the cloud of dust. Like, that to me is an archaic way of trying to run the football. But I do think there's ways of using a body that is big and powerful that can create real advantages for you. And maybe that's what Keith can be. I frankly hadn't seen the tape. Don't know anything about the kid. Saw the information this morning, or maybe it was yesterday, that he was going to be going to Alabama, which I was just glad to see a kid from Birmingham was going back. To me, I think there needs to be more kids from Alabama on the roster. Because I think that when you have guys that are from the South or from the state, there's an extra level of pride when they put that jersey and helmet on. But so that was a big takeaway for me is, hey, local kid gets to go play at Alabama. I think that's great.
So you get a guy, though, that I think when you start asking questions, 6'1", 225, 230, bigger back from Parker High School, 2023 for Tennessee, 11 carries, 24 yards. 2024, 21 carries, 100 yards. Then at App State last year, 3 carries for 8 yards. I do think you asked the question of, okay, legitimately playing over the course of a season. We're 3 years into college football and haven't seen a lot of that. That would be my biggest concern of what are you really anticipating getting across the course of hopefully 15, 16 games. And now it doesn't look like you've had a lot of that. That would be my question with it, but we'll see how it helps. And it's not –
yeah.
I mean, listen, Alabama's not the only school doing different things and weird things. Ohio State gets a commitment from Dartmouth tackle Vashawn Washington over the weekend.
Okay. Didn't know they had a football
Let's
program.
ride.
You didn't know Dartmouth had a football? You
I, in
haven't
fact,
seen
did
the
not,
tape
no.
on Dartmouth football?
You hadn't seen the tape.
I know that Dartmouth was the fallback school to Andy Bernard and or the other way around. And they played golf with the Dartmouth guy when Andy had all the blisters on his hand.
Okay. Miami gets a commitment from former Harvard and Duke wide receiver Cooper Barcade.
Whew. Change of scenery.
Tennessee gets a commitment from former UT Martin, Colorado State, Houston Christian tight end Drake Martinez. So listen, you can sit. There are people that are going to look at this. I saw a couple tweets over the weekend. Alabama will just take commitments from anybody. They ain't the only school doing these kind of things.
Not really, no.
You got numbers to fill. There are numbers to, and I've had this conversation with a couple college coaches. Where we're headed with the whole walk-on thing going away, you still need guys. And by guys, I don't mean Julio Jones's and Kenny Irons's and Rolando McClain's and guys. I'm not even talking like your friend starter guys. Like, you need scout team guys. If you're getting rid of walk-ons, who's going to go over there during defensive team periods and be your guard, tackle, tight end, receiver, running back, fullback, quarterback, H-back, short yardage situation guys? You got to have guys. Yeah. And these are going to be guys on your roster making $50,000, $75,000 a year, $125,000 a year that are bodies that can give you, okay, 2s, 3s in middle drill. All right, hey, get out there. Let's see what you can do. Maybe they turn into somebody who can help you a little bit down the road. Or maybe you get
good in special teams.
Maybe they give you a little something extra than you thought you had that you saw them film. Like, hey, we should look at so-and-so as our short yardage tight end or our short yardage fullback instead of putting our D tackle who already plays 55 snaps a game over there. I mean, it's just you got to have guys. And I think we've sort of bypassed that. We don't really understand that because all these walk-ons that have been helpful in so many ways and done so many awesome things for college football over the years, if they're going away, these are some of the players. And I'm not necessarily pointing out these names because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know a ton about a lot of these guys we're talking about. I did go watch Khalifa Keith.
Or any.
Okay, but, I mean, some we will.
I don't know a ton. Yeah, well, you know more than anybody else in college football, perhaps, because, frankly, I looked up some of the stuff on Keith, and it's hard to get a gauge on it. Did you gather anything?
I found 18 plays.
Exactly.
And so I'm giving what
How
I'm
many
giving
were
you.
in quality time?
I didn't even look at the clock. I didn't look at the clock. I'm just be honest. I didn't even look. I don't know. I have no idea.
I'll just save you the time. There's not a whole lot that I think would be applicable, but what you just said is 100% true. What is one unintended consequence of NIL? And, frankly, shedding of additional practices. Guys are not practicing the way they once practiced. You can't. You don't have the numbers. You don't have the bodies. You can't practice the way they once practiced. And all these people, it's on the coaches. They can't develop. Yeah, because they can't practice the way they once practiced. Why? Because the players don't practice the way they once practiced, first and foremost. Two, you don't have the depth. You can't just go and lose a guy. Like if we had Mark Ingram, the Heisman Trophy winner, hurt his knee in the second scrimmage because we had a corner, I won't say his name because he's an idiot, had a corner that went and tackled him low in the second scrimmage, hurt his knee, and was out for 3 games. Hurt for 3 games, 2 weeks, however long it was, in 2010. Was banged up all year, relatively speaking, off of his Heisman Trophy winning season. We couldn't practice. That was in practice. Like, if that happened nowadays and you lose a Heisman level player in practice, think about the catastrophic events that would come of that. Think about that. And that day it was like, all right, Mark, you take some time, get back when you're ready. Trent, you're in. You know what I mean? That you can't overcome that nowadays because you don't have the bodies. So they've altered practice. The practices have gotten more manageable in some cases, and it's dicey. So if guys like this, you don't want them as your starter, but you do need some capable practice bodies to take some reps off your starters.
Again, we'll continue with some similar situations here. Oklahoma gets a commitment over the weekend from 6'4", 318-pound tackle Fred Hinton from Eastern Kentucky.
Heck yeah.
And we're not making fun of the kids. We're not making light of the situations. It's to say all your portal guys are not going to be from Auburn and Ole Miss and Southern Cal and even Purdue and Wake Forest. I mean, you're gonna have to get guys like this that maybe have slipped through the cracks a little bit, or maybe you see a little something different, or maybe are an exact fit for certain things you want to do situationally at different times. Like the Vashawn Washington kid that Ohio State gets, he's 285 pounds. Offensive tackle.
Come on.
I got to go grab the Dartmouth
He's
tape.
He's going to start. See, they'll take anybody.
That's what folks are saying. I mean, Texas takes a guard from Western Kentucky, Lawrence Seymour. I don't know anything about him.
I heard it's Richard Seymour's nephew.
Texas must have just all kind of room.
They'll take anybody.
That's what I've heard. They take Cincinnati, Wake Forest wide receiver Sterling Burkhalter. Now, he's 6'3", 220. So maybe that's a specific body type that they didn't have. That Sark's looking at, hey, we need more red zone guys. We need some bigger bodies down in the red zone. We can go find, a jump ball. We can line him up here and flex him out, do different things. That might be a very specific role that you're trying to bring in. But I've seen a lot of this. Who? Why? What are we doing? Oh, these guys don't know what's going on. Well, it can be a little bit different at times. Florida took a 5'11", 180-pound wide receiver from Indiana. Ace Cianjoli. All right, listen,
Do we have is that a guarantee on the pronunciation there?
Cianjoli.
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 How come he has to be Italian?
Well, his name's Ace.
Yeah,
Hey.
that fits.
Like
Hey, Ace.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That checks out. Got to be Italian then. You're right. Like in the movie Casino, you know?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Correct.
So I mean, it's interesting that this is going to be a part of it moving forward. I mean, like I didn't watch Drake Martinez play tight end for ETSU this year. Sorry, UT Martin, one of the Tennessees.
Yeah.
Hey, but it's an in-state get, so maybe that's good. I don't know.
I think there's something to be. Hey, when in doubt, take a kid from in-state. That's the way I look at it.
Well, they also took a wide receiver kick returner from Idaho State, Ian Duarte. Duarte. So get used to it. It's just going to be part of it. You got to have bodies. You got to have guys. And you can't line up the walk-ons anymore, or you're not going to be able to moving forward. And it's just kind of what it's going to be. By the way, Duarte coming into Tennessee, 5'10", 176.
We like him?
Maybe as a point guard. Who's the last?
That's it, though. That feels a little small for a point guard. Just
give me the last receiver in the SEC with a reception under 180 pounds.
Hang on.
Who did Damian say?
Kadarius Toney.
Under 180?
Gosh, no.
Dude, Kadarius Toney's put together now.
Yeah, he was that not the case.
I mean, I think Trendon Holiday was over 180.
Ryan Williams. Oops. There's one.
Yeah, but he was 16.
Yeah, 14 actually. He was 14 years old.
Did a kicker catch a fake pass?
Playing college
Maybe
ball.
that'd be the only one.
That's probably it.
All right, who was the kid at Auburn? It was like Gus's last year, whatever, that had like 196 catches for like 251 yards. Ryan Davis. How much did he weigh? He looked like he was under 180, but I don't think he really was.
He was obviously on the shorter side, but I don't remember him being like skinny.
He was just smaller in general.
He was smaller, but he wasn't skinny. You know what I mean? Like even if he was under 180, he didn't feel under 180. Like Ryan Williams,
he was listed at 5'9", 172. By the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but like that 5'9", by the way, super generous. I might add there. Same page. Like no way he was 5'9".
Well, I'll tell you this: if Ian Duarte can give Tennessee Ryan Davis production, then you're good, because they don't need the big guys run down the field. They need the intermediate guys. So if you get that production, I think that's a good get.
Same page. I think Ryan Davis was a dang good player.
No, great player. I'm trying to think of guys under 180.
Look, if you don't like him, that's fine. Just tell me you don't like him.
I'm trying to think of guys under 180 that actually caught footballs in the SEC. I just can't think of a ton of them right now.
There's not a lot. How about a guy that's 180 over 5'11"?
Oh, Victor Wembanyama.
Oh,
I bet Wembanyama weighs a lot more than y'all think.
Yeah, now
I bet
he's been in the league for a bit.
17.
Oh, the NBA nutrition plan, like Sean Bradley had.
That's true. He is French. There's a lot of butter in them croissants.
How much do we think Wembanyama weighs?
Currently, I'd say 210.
Honestly, I bet he's 240.
I was gonna say 245.
Yeah,
listed at 235. Yee. Who cares? He dunks on people, hits threes. All right, that's kind of a little update on the portal. There are Oregon gets Colorado running back Simeon Price, not Simeon Rice. That'd be a much better get, by the way. And based on the way that eligibility is going, you may have been able to pull that off. So who knows exactly what that's going to be. If you're trying to pull off getting into a new home, Gusty Goulis and the Gusty Goulis Group would like to help you. They can do that because they're brokered by eXp Realty and, by the way, has served more than 3,000 home buyers and sellers right here in the greater Birmingham area. Gusty knows the inventory, what's becoming available, what's going to be available, what has been, because they've got that buyer base, over 855-star Google reviews. He's been marketing for your home. Most agents going to start marketing after you list with them, not Gusty and his team. Google Gusty Ghouls Group today. See what people are saying. Call 205-542-1996. The only agent that I would trust if I needed to sell a home in the Birmingham area is Gusty Ghouls with the Gusty Ghouls Group. Since 2012, Gusty Ghouls Group recognized both nationally and locally as Greater Birmingham, Alabama's #1 team in home sold. So go to GustyGhoulsGroup.com today. Call 205-542-1996. Google Gusty Ghouls Group and go ahead and start packing. All right, when we come back, Paul Finebaum gives us his thoughts on kind of the scholarship limitation, where that thing's headed in college football, and maybe a new governing body starting to kind of show a little bit of strength in college sports. Is it real or not? We ask Paul next on Jocks. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, Monday, February 2nd, right here on Jocks. He joins us each and every week. Thanks to our friends at Craneworks from ESPN, the SEC Network, and hear him 2 to 6 p.m. right here on Jocks. It's Paul Finebaum.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks, Rentalworks, yeah! The big dog's got it.
Paul Finebaum on Mac and Cube in the morning is brought to you by Craneworks. Lift it, buy it, rent it, the big dog's got it. Now, Paul Finebaum.
Paul, always great to have you in on a Monday morning. I saw a little bit of back and forth on social media over the weekend in reference to someone at Georgia, just kind of a hypothetical reference moving forward, that the SEC could make a push to sort of govern themselves. And I've had a lot of conversations with folks on, you could see things going a place where maybe the SEC and the Big Ten sort of pull away, and the one way that they would manage things is they would govern themselves. And when I hear people say that, I kind of laugh, like, who's going to tell on themselves? It's not a very real thing. Do you feel like that could be a direction that some of the bigger conferences in college sports even attempt to moving forward, where self-governance would be the way of the future?
I think it's highly unlikely. I mean, there's very little trust of the NCAA, but the SEC, Cole, about 40 years ago, had its own enforcement operation, and the problem was that it became very technical, and they really are not in business to put themselves out of business. Meaning, you send the SEC enforcement arm down to Auburn or Alabama, and do you really want them to find things that are going to be deleterious to your league? And while you want to have while you want to have a modicum of governance, you don't want to be the investigators. So I don't think it's ever going to work. I frankly don't think there's any future for governance in college athletics the way things currently are. And the biggest reason is litigation. That's part of the problem that the NCAA currently has. That 25 years ago, and a lot of it started in Alabama in a case that the NCAA was investigating Alabama, where you start getting people that are being investigated turning around and suing the NCAA, and they just don't have the means for it because they're not that. They are not an organized, well-oiled enforcement wing. It's very haphazard on its best day.
Paul, it's crazy when you think about it, but there is hope that the College Sports Commission can eventually incorporate some rules and some guardrails, and it appears like maybe there's some progress being made there. What's your assessment of the College Sports Commission up to this point, and whether or not it will find success in some of this enforcement?
Well, I think they have a lane, and their lane is really primarily ruling on NIL deals. They could rule, and I think they have some null and void. And I think the whole misunderstanding, at least maybe on my level of last week with Dabo Swinney, his intentions were good. It's good to see someone who is willing to name names and specifics. The difficulty is where do you go for relief? And until the College Sports Commission does something significant, it really won't have much effect, but it could. I mean, it could rule a major sports player invalid to go to a school. And I know there's speculation about them investigating LSU. If they cost LSU a top player, then it would send at least a message. That's really all we're talking about here, is sending a message that it's not okay. And as long as schools can blindly cheat and nothing happens other than a couple of coaches or administrators or college presidents saying we have to do something, then it will remain the same.
Paul Finebaum joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline, thanks to Craneworks. The eligibility situations, plural, not pointing a finger at Alabama here, has gotten a lot of people talking. We heard from a lot of coaches over the weekend, the last week. What's the future of this, in your opinion? The coaches feel like they're frustrated with it. Even those that are attempting to bring a player back, have brought a player back, or even saying that there is some ridiculousness to it. Do we find a stopping point? Does it just continue to snowball and we find more and more guys are going to become eligible? Where do you see this headed?
I think a lot depends on what happens in Alabama this week. If this case is ruled in favor of Bediako, then I think it will open the doors where every other school will say to themselves, why not? What do I have to lose? At least I can test it. I mean, everything about any advantage in business or in anything else always comes down to how far can you go. And Alabama took a chance. The fact that the team is not playing very well is hurting them in many ways more than anything else, because it's just easy to pile on Nate Oates when they've lost two of the three games, and it doesn't look like there has been a significant difference. Although I think most college basketball people admit Bediako in there is going to ultimately help Alabama. Yeah, I think you saw the case with UCLA. So everyone will, I think everyone, not everyone, but a lot of schools, even those who are screaming bloody murder right now, will test it if they have the opportunity to do so.
It is wild because I anticipate, and Bediako's been better offensively than I could imagine, but I haven't noticed this massive difference on the defensive end. Maybe yesterday's performance just left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, but do you feel like it's actually been almost disruptive for Alabama up to this point, Paul?
I mean, it certainly hasn't helped a lot. I mean, it plugged a hole, but I think some of it is just the opposition. I mean, yesterday, I think most of us could have easily bet that Florida was going to win that game. That just seemed to be the game that surprised me the most was the Tennessee game. Missouri, Greg, you could have been in the middle there, and I think it would have still been a blowout. So I think it's really, how does it help in the end? And Nate Oates took a tremendous gamble in the middle of the season to see if he could make the chemistry work. And I don't think the sample size is enough yet. He's not overly. I mean, yeah, he's concerned about these games, but he's trying to look 4 to 6 weeks down the road if he can turn this season around and get on a roll. And if he can, then it will have paid off for him in spite of all the screaming and hollering. Because frankly, as much as people have been moralizing, including myself, it's a pretty. If he ends up getting deep into the tournament, his fan base really won't care. And at the end of the season, Nate Oates' job is to make sure his team does well, to satisfy his bosses and his fan base. He is not concerned what Todd Golden thinks one bit.
Paul Finebaum joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. We were discussing numbers in college football rosters moving forward, and some of the names that people will see being landed through the portal are not going to wow them like we sort of anticipate them to or fans expect them to. But you have spots you still have to fill with the walk-on kind of going away. What have you heard from coaches about just managing these numbers moving forward? Guys you're going to have to fill roster spots. Not all going to be 4- and 5-star players. There are different roles from players that you're going to have to get through the portal and other spots moving forward. What do you hear college football coaches saying about this?
Well, I think too often fans, Cole, are going to overreact. And you see a player from App State going to Alabama, you go, "Oh my goodness! I mean, what's happened to my program?" And that's not really the question that needs to be answered. Is whether that running back can play a spot role. And all you need, you're not going to get. You're probably not going to get a Heisman Trophy winner this late in the portal, but you might fill a hole. And I think the coaches, I admire coaches who are not worried about the reaction or the stars and are trying to fill up, make actually a team out of these players and a bunch of stars. And I refuse to keep pointing to Cignetti because he did it differently, and everybody is, and frankly, I don't think anybody is going to be able to completely follow his path. But it's a better route than just pouting about not getting the top player in the portal and where you're ranked in the portal. So it's impossible to know on the 2nd of February, but at some point you have to trust coaches. They're either going basement dollar store shopping or they actually know what they're doing. And until the season starts, we're really not going to know.
Paul, as you look at the situation, it's now become official with Darian Mensah. And I don't feel like I've gotten your take on it. I'm fascinated by this whole scenario. Is that Darian Mensah signed 2-year deal out of Tulane. Duke went big on him. He has a great year. They win the ACC title. Miami's swinging for the fences, trying to go after everybody, including Ty Simpson, who had announced that he was entering the NFL draft. And they miss. They don't get anybody. Well, all of a sudden, they go and get Darian Mensah, who decides to hop in the portal, despite Duke basically suing him and the entire law school rallying against his departure. And he ends up in the portal anyways. They settle. You now go into Miami. Like, what does this mean for college football, and what's going to come of a situation like this?
Well, I think it's good for lawyers. It's going to open the door for more litigation. and we shouldn't be surprised. And I know we're not because fans call them and say, well, don't these guys have deals? Well, yeah, they do. I think the real issue is how ironclad they are, how willing to litigate they are. And this is a bizarre moment in college athletics where you're buying yourself out of a contract. But it's better than just walking out. I didn't have a problem with this deal. I think Miami got a lot out of it. I don't know what Duke got out of it other than losing a future star. But at least they got something as opposed to have completely wasted a bunch of money.
Paul, always appreciate the visits on Monday mornings. Thanks for the time. We'll do it again next week.
Enjoyed it, guys. Thank you.
Paul Finebaum with us on the Higginbotham Hotline. He joins us weekly thanks to Craneworks. So a couple of different areas we went there with Paul. Need to discuss on the other side. The CSC potentially flexing a little bit, trying to show some power, trying to show that they may be able to be an enforcement wing of college sports that has a little bit of power to maybe try to keep things from running rampant. We'll discuss it when we come back. Also discuss it at 8 o'clock with Ralph Russo. He had some commentary on it over the weekend. So a lot of different directions that we're going to go. The direction that you should go if you're feeling on edge, lacking energy, lacking sleep would be Game Day Men's Health. You go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com right now. Sign up for the free consultation. It's free. Free PSA test, free testosterone test. They're going to lay out where they feel like your health is right now. Then they'll lay out the different ways that they can help you, be it peptides, weight loss, get you back to feeling and looking your best and just being your best. They want to help with this. If you're struggling with weight loss, they have multiple programs that can get you on track. GameDayMen'sHealth.com is where you need to go. Sign up for that free consultation. Locker room environment, not going to try to press you into things that you don't need. Minimal upfront cost from the programs they offer. That differentiates them from almost everybody else around Birmingham and surrounding areas when it comes to getting you on some of these programs. So book that free consultation today. Mention Mac and Cube when you walk in the front door. Save 10% on anything that they do. GameDayMen'sHealth.com, now open in Trustville. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. So we'll discuss a little bit of where things could be headed from an enforcement standpoint next right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. When you look at the CSC potentially beginning to enforce things, do we think that's real? Do we think it's going to happen? Or should anybody be nervous about the fact that they might be able to actually get some things done? Don't know if this is going to be the future of how college sports rules are enforced, or maybe things are kept in check. 800-239-9569. You want to get in, we can discuss it. You can also text into the show 205-834-9450. Tweet in at Mac and Cube. A lot of different ways to be a part of the show each and every day, like watching us live on YouTube. Search Jocks945. Before we move forward, John, tell our listeners about UAB.
Well, your UAB Blazers have a big game coming up this Thursday, February 5th, the biggest rivalry that UAB has. The Memphis Tigers are coming to town, and tickets are available at UABsports.com. UAB pulled off a record-breaking feat over the weekend, got their 5th straight conference road game when they toppled North Texas on Saturday. So we need to keep that momentum rolling. So make sure you stop by Bartow. It's UAB basketball taking on Memphis Thursday, February 5th at 8 o'clock. It's going to be a gold out, so remember to wear your gold. And the first 5,000 fans get a free gold rally towel. UAB versus Memphis Thursday at Bartow, 8 o'clock. Get your tickets at UABsports.com.
This Thursday, 8 p.m.?
Correct.
Probably not going to be able to take the kids that one.
It may be asking a bit much for the little ones, but
You can do it.
Impossible
You can do
ask.
it. You're going to be in a tough spot on Friday. Just know that.
Not doing that because I
Worth
will
it.
be solo dad for 4 days this week. So
Oh, my.
that's not.
Oh, my.
Yeah, no, that one won't work. I mean, I'd love to get out and
4
and go
days?
do something. Tuesday to Friday. Yeah.
Whew. Why?
We got market over in Atlanta. We got to go buy clothes. So I don't, but my wife does. So
Royal we. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
a long time.
it is. It is. But hey, we'll figure it out. We'll be okay. John, you had a great question in our group chat last night that I wanted to ask because I'm seeing some things about different. I had no idea that the Grammys were on until you sent this, by the way.
Well, I knew they were coming. I didn't realize they were last night. I knew they were always at the beginning of the year, and I'd seen ads and stuff for it, and I was looking at something. I was like, oh, the Grammys are last night. Oh, okay. Oh,
Now, Damien actually usually does watch some of these things.
a little bit, right? Yeah.
Grammys, Academy Award. I don't know why, but he does.
Because
I
he's
guess
still 19 years old. He actually knows the acts.
I don't know. He's flirting with 30. He's about to be an old man.
He's getting there.
Yeah.
That might be part of it. He actually knows the people that perform. I mean, some of the clips that I've seen, I know who those folks are. But you asked this question because the Royal Rumble was also over the weekend. Something that at different points in my life I would have known exactly what day it was, when it was, what the matches were. And you asked this question. For those that didn't know, the Royal Rumble for WWE was over the weekend, one of their bigger pay-per-view
In
events
Riyadh.
of the year. Where was it?
Saudi Arabia.
Riyadh.
Yeah. It was not. It was international, not domestic.
What kind of
The
check do you
Royal
think they get
Rumble
for
in
that?
Riyadh. It felt. I
Rolls
feel
off
like
the
we
tongue.
just need to add that.
Okay. They get a big
perfect.
check for that, you think?
I think they got
Imagine
multiple.
so. Imagine
It ain't
so.
small.
Grammys also
Yeah,
last
something
night.
else.
Can anybody, Damien, how much of the Grammys did you watch?
None.
Not a second.
Not a second.
Wow.
Do you know one of the performing acts? Like, even though you
Oh,
didn't watch it,
come
like,
on.
do you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, Rihanna's going to perform? Like, do you know?
Yeah, Leon Thomas.
Oh, yay.
I'm sorry?
Leon Thomas III. He was on Victorious. It was a Nickelodeon show. But yeah, I know he performed.
So helping your cause.
Olivia Dean. She's like extremely popular. My fiance put me on. She got some good music. I will give her that. But I think I don't know if she performed. I think
Serious
she
with
performed.
that?
Dead serious.
Did you know a performing act?
Yes,
John?
Lady Gaga.
She performed last
She
night?
did.
wow.
So
You know one. Lauryn Hill.
There we go.
she's still around?
Well, I don't know why she performed, but I know at some point she performed "Killing Me Softly" with Wyclef in honor of Roberta Flack, who passed. So I know they did that. I don't know if they did that just for the.
That's great
remembrance.
for this generation, so this generation can learn that the Fugees were a one-hit wonder. Because
Wow.
it becomes a little exhausting that people act like the Fugees had all of these hits. And
They had two.
Lauryn Hill for sure.
sorry that I cut that one in half, but yes. Now Wyclef went and did some things.
Correct.
Not
For
saying
sure.
that he didn't.
Lauren did
But
too. Yeah.
The actual Fugees,
Right. Yeah.
literally 1.5 songs. That,
It's at one
but
and a half.
we act like they had these albums upon albums upon albums. It's just no, didn't. Not
They
what
were
it was.
so you're saying they're the black version of Wham? didn't really have much. And
I
then
have to honestly look at the names of Wham songs because I don't necessarily know them offhand.
there's just one.
I'm gonna guess the over.
No, there was just one
Wasn't
when they were the group.
Was Wham like "Wake Me Up Before You Go"?
Yes, that was their one.
Oh, wow.
And then when they split, all of a sudden, then they went big.
I just knew Last Christmas.
But I was gonna say Last Christmas
That's the only
actually
Wham song I know.
seems like pretty popular.
Okay, again,
song.
1.5. All right. You bumping Last
It's
Christmas
seasonal.
all the time, or just
Yeah,
November to?
I don't recall Club Tropicana off the top of my
All
head.
right.
Oh,
Ray of Sunshine. I thought that was a Madonna song.
Half right.
I'll give you that.
shout out to Wham.
Yeah.
So like Tennessee Titans, you had
out
to
to
leave
Wham.
to get better.
George Michael was in Wham.
Yeah, he was.
Did not know that until right now.
Yeah.
Didn't care either. But Careless Whisperer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
George
one of
Michael.
his. Yeah.
Couldn't tell you another.
Faith, father figure. Yeah, he had a.
But if you put Last
had a
Christmas and Careless Whisperer together, do you not have two
Bangers.
hits?
One seasonal.
Well, Careless Whisper was that Wham
Yeah,
or was
but a
that George
seasonal
Michael?
hit, if a hit is a hit,
True.
because it comes back every year.
Yeah. Shout out to Mariah Carey.
Was Wham?
Like the Fugees only come back once every decade to go on an award show again. At least they come back once a year. You got to give them credit for that. So, all right, all that aside, none of us, it sounds like, watched a minute of this last night.
In fact, no.
I don't know, you have to ask Craig. I know you didn't watch it.
Are you joking?
Did
you're
any of
joking.
us watch a minute of the Royal Rumble over the weekend?
A little bit.
Also,
What
are
match did you
joking?
watch?
I watched like the actual Rumble part.
You say that, but you're friends with Testator. He would be upset if you sit there and said you didn't watch any of it.
What time did it start? It's in
Noon.
Riyadh.
No.
Yeah, it was midday. I knew that.
Noon
I
on
don't know
Saturday.
what
All
time,
right.
yeah.
So first of all, when y'all will understand this, at noon on a weekend, you're not often just sitting around the house preparing to watch, The Miz take on Roman Reigns. Like you're not
Who
just
won?
it's not
Who won?
like,
Yeah,
you
well,
don't have
speaking
that
of Roman
penciled
Reigns.
in.
I feel like that one will be later in the pay-per-view, but
It was.
did they actually battle?
No. Roman Reigns was in the Royal Rumble though.
Who won the Royal Rumble?
Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Yeah, of course.
Creative team, hard at
Well,
work.
hold
Right.
on. The men's rumble.
Yeah. And Liv Morgan won the
There's
women's.
two now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to throw that
See,
in
we
with the
used to
question.
throw the Fabulous Moolah in the real
Correct.
Royal
Right.
Rumble.
Yeah, and easily get thrown out. But,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No.
I was going to throw that in with
Whatever
the
happened
question
to
too.
Roman Reigns being done? I thought he was like wrapping up.
He's just part time now.
Checks started
Yeah,
showing up
Exactly,
again.
yeah. It's that Saudi money, man.
Yeah, well,
he had to
it's-
get that check.
John Cena can't walk away either. Bring him back. Okay, so
Well,
this
he
is the
can't
question.
act, so he
this
might
is
as
the
well
question
wrestle.
that John posed in the group chat, and we will answer this on the other side. But I'll ask our listeners: if you had to watch every one of these two things, which would it be and why? We'll answer that question for you next, right here on Jocks. Is this Roman Reigns music?
This in fact is ZZ Top, so no.
Has ZZ Top ever performed at the Grammys?
Probably.
Probably.
Do you remember when it was a huge deal when people speculated that Gillette had offered ZZ Top $1 million to shave their beards?
Yeah.
And everyone
I
was like,
vaguely remember that.
how could you not do it? And they didn't do it.
Do you think they offered anything to Harden?
I think he would do it.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Actually, you know what? He might not. He doesn't need it.
Yeah, the NBA money's a little different.
Guy's making like $30 million a shot. All right. We'll
Help me understand. Help me understand. Like, I know ZZ Top, and I don't even know how long it would take to grow those beards. I kind of understand their whole calling card. If they were to make the beards disappear, they wouldn't be ZZ Top anymore. But at the same time, like Gillette, this was an ideal scenario for Gillette. They didn't actually have to pay ZZ Top money, and yet they still had the benefit of it being like the hottest debate ever.
It's a great point.
I love it.
No, you got the run you needed on the offer.
Correct.
Not giving the check away. And it's often what I said in the very, very infant stages of NIL. If you remember when we talked about like Bo Nix got the Milo's deal.
Right.
I actually don't think they even gave him any money. He just loved Milo's, and they gave him like pallets of tea. But because he was one of the first 2 or 3 that actually got a deal, everybody talked about it.
Yeah.
And that ended up being worth 5-6 times whatever you gave him via barter, and we're off and running. Some of these deals that you're giving guys, if you can generate the discussion, like Greg said, it's beyond worth it. And that was a great example of it because ZZ Top was probably never going to do it.
Right.
And they probably.
And ZZ Top also benefited from we're not selling out. Like they kind of also like helped them in a way. Like this was a genius marketing campaign that helped both sides.
No doubt. Kind of like when we talk about waiting for things, and one thing you never have to wait for.
That's your dental care. That's because Family Care Dental has you taken care of. It's an urgent care office where you can be seen the same day at several locations to make it easy for you. Hoover, Fultondale, Homewood, Alabaster, and Trussville. Call Family Care Dental today. They can get you in. They can see you on Fridays and Saturdays, and they can do emergency and or routine care. So give them a call at 874-9605. That's Family Care Dental, 874-9605.
So we asked the question. You have to watch all of one or the other. Every single one that's ever happened. Royal Rumble or Grammys. Greg, which direction you going?
Royal Rumble.
Why?
Because they're not going to like force some type of political agenda down my throat. Whereas I feel like in the Grammy,
Do you miss the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov? You just missed that whole era?
That was 30 years ago. I mean, I can live with that. That was
You
a
missed the
different
Nation of
time.
Domination? Like just right there in your face?
I feel like all the award shows always become political on one side or the other. Like I want nothing to do with that. I just want to watch something to be entertained. And I feel like Royal Rumble is far more entertaining without some type of political twist. And I'm good with it that way.
Fair enough. Damian?
I'd say the Grammys.
Okay.
Just over the years of hearing like big Luther Vandross singing and gracing the stage, like to see when music was at its peak.
Think about
back in
all the
day.
acts that they thought were good. You're gonna have to sit through too.
Keep in mind,
they're
flamed
stoned out of their
over the
minds when
years.
they're up there as well and could barely get words out.
Last night was the 67th Grammys. There were, I think, the weekend was the 38th Rumble, 38th, 39th. So you're looking at that is a good bit more.
history
Yeah,
there.
like yeah.
Those
Prime
WWE
problem
pay-
with
Prime
the
Stevie
Grammys now-
Wonder.
There was a time that WWE pay-per-views could stretch though and get long.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
true. The problem with the Grammys now is there'll be some dude you've literally never heard of that's the game day guest picker that has 37 Grammys. I've literally never heard of the guy, and the Beatles have like 4.
It's
Everybody
called-
gets a Grammy.
It's called
nowadays.
production and
I got no
writing.
time for it. Yeah,
Get those credits.
Editing.
editing.
I think I'd probably have to go with the Rumble because if you're going like
Yes.
Greg said, if you're going with actual minutes of entertainment inside each over time, some of those speeches and the delays and people getting off and on stage and the presenters walking up there trying to be funny when they're not, I don't need that. I don't have time for that. All that just to hear Cher sing one song. I'm good. I'll take the Rumble.
Come